Welcome back to my YouTube channel, WC Coins World. Today we are going to explore the fascinating and detailed history of the 1906 one-penny coin, a coin that belongs to the Edwardian era and carries with it a legacy of British coinage traditions that stretch back through centuries. This coin is not just a piece of bronze, but a representation of Britain's economy, society, monarchy, and the technical aspects of minting in the early 20th century, making it an extraordinary subject to discuss in great detail for all numismatic enthusiasts. The 1906 one-penny coin was issued during the reign of King Edward VII, who was the son of Queen Victoria and reigned from 1901 to 1910. His reign marked the beginning of the Edwardian period, which was short yet significant in shaping British history. The penny of this era continued the tradition of using bronze as its metal composition, and it weighed around 9.4 grams with a diameter of 30.8 millimeters, making it a relatively large coin for everyday circulation. The obverse side of the coin features the portrait of King Edward VII, designed by the renowned engraver George William de Saulles. This portrait shows the king facing right with a distinguished profile that carries an air of authority and dignity. Around the portrait is the Latin inscription, Edward's 7-day gra Brit. Omen Rex Fid Def Ind Imp, which translates to Edward VII, by the grace of God, King of all the Britons, defender of the faith, Emperor of India. This title emphasizes the vastness of the British Empire at the time and highlights the symbolic power that the coin represented in every transaction. The reverse of the 1906 one-penny coin carries the iconic seated figure of Britannia, who was first introduced on the penny coins back in 1797. During the reign of George III, she is shown seated facing right, holding a trident in her left hand and resting her right hand on a shield that bears the Union Jack. Behind her is the sea, which represents Britain's maritime power and naval dominance. This design symbolized strength, stability, and the control Britain had over global trade routes at the height of its imperial power. The composition of the coin, which was made of bronze, gave it its distinct brown appearance, as well as durability in circulation. During this time, bronze pennies like the 1906 issue were produced in extremely large numbers. This was because, at that time, the penny was considered a vital denomination for daily commerce and transactions in Britain, particularly among working-class families, shopkeepers, and traders. The ubiquitous presence of the penny in everyday life in Edwardian Britain is symbolically represented by this coin, as it represents an intimate link to the specific aspects of that era's social and economic landscape. Consequently, the bronze penny remains an enduring symbol of the complex relationship between the past and present, and a testament to the longevity and significance of currency in modern society. One of the most interesting aspects of the 1906 one-penny coin is the minting process. During this period, most coins were struck at the Royal Mint in London, which had centuries of experience in producing coins for the empire. The mint mark system was not generally applied to pennies of this era, since nearly all of them were minted in London. However, the detailed die work and high-quality engraving of George William de Saulles made each piece a work of precision and artistry. The 1906 one-penny was part of the predecimal currency system of the United Kingdom, where 12 pennies made 1 shilling and 20 shillings made 1 pound. This system had been in place for centuries, and the penny was considered the backbone of British coinage. It was used in countless everyday transactions, from buying food in markets to paying for public transport, which makes this coin a strong link between the nation's economy and the common people of that time. Historically, the 1906 penny stands out because it reflects the transition from the long Victorian age into the Edwardian era. Britain was entering the 20th century with a sense of pride and stability, yet beneath the surface social and political changes were taking place. Industrialization continued to expand. The working classes were becoming more organized, and new movements for social reforms were gaining strength. The coin silently witnessed these changes as it circulated, through the hands of millions. The design of Britannia on the reverse had become one of the most enduring images of British coinage. But by the Edwardian period, some critics argued that the design was outdated. Nevertheless, it continued to serve as a patriotic emblem of British unity and naval supremacy. The trident shield and seated posture of Britannia conveyed a sense of control and protection that was reassuring to the public. At a time when Britain was the leading global power, collectors pay immense attention today to the 1906 one-penny coin, not only because of its exceptional age but also because it represents a significant historical moment in British numismatics. Coins minted for the Edward VII series were only produced for a brief period from 1902 to 1910, which makes them an incredibly compact and highly collectible series within the realm of British numismatics. The 1906 issue in particular can be discovered in a wide variety of grades, ranging from heavily worn, circulated examples all the way to rare, uncirculated pieces that preserve their original, radiant luster. When examining the details of the obverse, collectors often look for the sharpness of Edward VII's portrait, including the definition of his facial features, hair, and beard, while on the reverse, the clarity of Britannia's trident shield and the waves of the sea are important indicators of a coin's condition. The presence of even slight wear can reduce its grade significantly, which affects its value on the collector market. Another important factor in the study of this coin is the mintage figures. In 1906, millions of these pennies were produced to meet the demands of circulation, which means they are relatively common compared to some rarer dates in the series. However, finding one in excellent condition without heavy wear, spotting, or corrosion is much more difficult and therefore significantly more valuable. Collectors also look for varieties or errors, which can occur during the minting process. Though the 1906 penny does not have many widely recognized varieties, some misstrikes and off-center examples are of special interest. Economically, the penny played a central role in the lives of Edwardian citizens. At the time, one penny could buy a loaf of bread, a newspaper, or a ride on a horse-drawn tram. This small bronze coin held significant purchasing power for the working class, and thus it is more than just a piece of metal. It is a reminder of what everyday life was like in 1906 Britain. The artistry of the coin owes much to George William de Saulles, who was the chief engraver at the Royal Mint until his death in 1903, although he passed away before the entire Edwardian series was completed. His designs lived on in the coins that circulated during this period. His portrait of Edward VII is considered one of the most naturalistic and finely detailed representations of a British monarch in coinage history. Over the years, the 1906 penny has become a window into the Edwardian age and era, often remembered for elegance, refinement, and the confidence of an empire at its peak. Yet it was also a period of change that foreshadowed the turbulence of the First World War. Just 8 years later, holding a 1906 penny today connects us not only to the history of coinage but also to the wider historical context of Britain's role in the early 20th century. In conclusion, the 1906 one-penny coin stands as an extraordinary and remarkable piece of numismatic history. It truly reflects the incredible artistry of the talented George William de Saulles. Furthermore, it also conveys the authority of the reigning Edward VII. Additionally, it embodies the tradition of Britannia, symbolizing the UK's historic influence. Lastly, it represents the economic backbone of the Edwardian era in British history, making it an essential piece for collectors, historians, and enthusiasts alike. This precious coin, with its intricate design, represents far more than just its face value. It serves as a tangible link to the past, a small yet powerful reminder of an era of significant transition and empire building. In many ways, it stands as a testament to the rich and complex history of the British Empire, intertwining centuries of significant events and achievements throughout its existence. Thank you for watching this long and detailed journey into the history of the 1906 one-penny coin. I hope you enjoyed learning about its design history, minting process, and importance to both collectors and the everyday life of Edwardian Britain. Make sure to subscribe to WC Coins World for more in-depth explorations of fascinating coins from around the world.